So I could be wrong, but there's one heavy weapon I think is going to become a standout choice during year 5. It's one I've kept my eye on for a while now, and although everyone thinks rocket launchers are getting that sweet artifact mod buff in season 16 at the start of the Witch Queen, what if it doesn't? Also, there's this that was alluded to in the recent Bungie dev team interview on the Destiny Community podcast.
With the testing of Void 3.0, was there a build that someone came up with during testing that surprised you, or
There is a mechanic, but you'll discover, called volatile rounds, that gives your void weapons an ability to apply volatile. And yeah, watching somebody apply that with the Ruinous Effigy Ball was surprising. That's what you want in a sandbox, right? Is like the dynamic interactions where people just surprise you with the rules you set up.
I feel like we're just glazing over that volatile rounds.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah, no, it's super dope. Can't wait for you to figure out what it is.
We won't know what volatile rounds are until next week, but my guess is that it's a new mod that's going to impact void weapons the most, and it will most likely play off the new Void 3.0 subclasses by causing void explosions when causing void weapon damage by applying the volatile debuff to enemies as described in the recent Void 3.0 rundown. Either way, if any of these come to fruition, the Shattered Cypher is poised to become one of the best, if not the best, high burst DPS weapon next season. There's actually another reason why I believe this, but first please check that you subscribe to the channel if you do like any of my videos, and also hit the bell button to be notified when my videos go live. So everyone thinks that we're on a pattern of if the previous season's ritual reward was a certain archetype, then the next season will be said archetype with a game breaking mod. We saw this with the Salvager's Salvo that got the Breach and Clear in Season 14, and then again with Null Composure and Particle Deconstruction in Season 15. So as the pattern goes, we just had the Ascendancy Rocket Launcher, you get my drift. But in Season 15, we also had the exotic Linear Fusion Rifle, the Lawrence Driver, as a Season Pass reward, which also took advantage of the immensely powerful Particle Deconstruction. Now what's the Season 16 Season Pass offering, I hear you ask? According to recent promo and trailers, it's highly likely to be the brand new rapid fire-esque exotic machine gun Grand Overture. So with that in mind, it could quite easily be Machine Gun's time to shine very, very soon. Machine Guns also got a 20% damage buff at the start of Season of the Lost, putting them just about in line with other archetypes for damage output. What else got a buff and adjustment the season before they saw time in the sun? Yep, you guessed it, fusion rifles and linear fusion rifles in Season 14 during Season of the Splicer. So with all the conspiracy theories out of the way, let's now look at the numbers as well as the roles you should be chasing. There's literally only one particular role that I think you should be hunting down. This is due to its excellent high burst DPS potential, as it allows you to pair it with other top DPS combos such as the exotic grenade launcher Witherhoard and its highly effective damage over time. Ideally in the first column, you want something to extend its range and limit its damage fall off. Extended barrel and hammer forged rifling will both do this. Next, any magazine size increasing option is perfect. Extended mag is the best as it'll get you up to 96 rounds, but even appended mag and tactical mag will get you in and around the high 80s. Auto loading holster is the only option for me in the third trait column for this DPS monster. There's two reasons for this. First, it has a dreadfully slow reload speed of just about 5 seconds, which is near on exactly the same amount of time it takes to empty the entire 80 plus round magazine. Secondly though, and most importantly, it allows you to switch to your other DPS options like Witherhoard, especially with its auto-loading catalyst as we mentioned, a Vorpal fusion rifle or even other auto-loading weapons. Slug shotguns like the First In Last Out or Sojourner's Tale are still excellent and both roll with auto-loading holster too. This allows you to continue sustained damage output while waiting the few seconds it takes for the auto-loading holster on Shattered Cypher to kick in. If you didn't know, you will only have to wait for the sound notification of a magazine clip reloading to know it's auto-loaded and ready to switch to it again. Moving on, and in the final column, there's a Slept On damage perk which is pretty much hands down the best in the game. Nobody really uses it, let alone talks about it, and I honestly don't know why. Surrounded just turns this machine gun up to another level. When you think about it and how it works, especially in boss phases and DPS scenarios, the game always chucks trash ads at you to try and flinch you or distract you from doing damage. It could be a bunch of Thrall, Vex goblins, they'll be there and in your face. You only need 3 or more enemies to be within 8 meters for it to proc, and it'll trigger a 30% damage buff. This lasts until you are no longer surrounded, but if you use the surrounded spec mod, the buff will not only linger for 1.5 seconds after you are no longer surrounded, but it'll give you a now improved 40% damage buff. It really is insane, and it takes the damage numbers of this Void rapid fire frame machine gun from just good to absolutely great, putting it firmly into the end game. All of this puts you at 2,562 damage per precision hit on a boss, dishing out over 245,000 damage per magazine if you have 96 rounds in the mag. That's in just under 5 seconds too, so it's netting you a DPS of around 60,000 at that point if my maths are correct. Add into it Void Elemental Wells using the Font of Might buff for 25% increase to damage and the High Energy Fire's 20% boost, which do stack, and you'll be hitting 3,843 per precision hit, knocking the single mag damage output at over 368,000 and bumping that DPS way up in the process. It absolutely shreds through enemies everywhere, and it was even doing bits on the Templar in the Master Vault of Glass before machine guns got the recent buff. You'll definitely want to use Scavenger and find a mod just to keep it constantly topped up too. If, like I predict, it will work with the new seasonal mods next season, we could definitely be onto a winner. Imagine a 40% particle deconstruction buff to this, or even bonus void detonation explosion damage periodically as you stack volatile rounds into your target. It's just going to blow this machine gun up into the stratosphere. Now you can still get this from Umbral engrams at Helm, either by focusing it at the Prismatic Recaster using the Splicer Kells engram or the Splicer Armory engrams. It can also drop from the Override activity or the Expunge missions and using the Corrupted key code on the Corrupted Conflict chests. The Corrupted Tartarus mission is easily the fastest here to try your luck and grab one. I might be wrong about this one, but the numbers add up and are definitely in its favour. A machine gun meta is right around the corner, so don't miss out on this one whilst it's easy to get your hands on. Who knows when we'll be able to get it again. If you forgot about the Shattered Cypher though, don't make the same mistake with this little known sword. It has some excellent perks, and that's why in this video I point out what you need to look for on it and why. It's also very easy to get, so check out this video and go and get yours.